Okay, let's dive right into this. We're about to explore a truly radical idea from a new work of theoretical physics. The claim is that the reality you and I experience, the flow of time, the three dimensions of space, it's not the real deal. It's just a tiny sliver of a much deeper, much stranger, timeless truth. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. This single sentence, pulled straight from the source material, challenges over a century of physics. The theory we're digging into today argues that our familiar four-dimensional spacetime, it's just an illusion. It's something that kind of pops into existence, but only for certain kinds of observers. So if spacetime isn't the bedrock of reality, what is? Well, the theory proposes a totally different stage for physics to play out on. So forget spacetime for a minute. The real action, it says, happens in a complex, eight-dimensional geometric space. This is what's called the view from nowhere, a reality where there's no such thing as a universal now. So this space, it has a name, the Grassmannian. And a simple way to think about it is, imagine every single possible path a light ray could take through the entire history of the universe, from the Big Bang to the very end. Now imagine all those paths existing at the same time. That's the Grassmannian. And from this one timeless, eight-dimensional structure, two completely different ways of existing can emerge. Right, so you have this single timeless space, but two completely different paths of existence can pop out of it. And the crucial difference, the thing that splits reality in two, it all comes down to one single property we're all familiar with, whether or not a particle has mass. And this is where things get really, really interesting. For a massless particle, say a photon, its entire journey from a star billions of light years away to your eye happens in an instant. Literally zero time passes for it. It gets to experience the full eight-dimensional reality all at once. But for us, for anything with mass, our existence is totally different. Having mass locks us into a four-dimensional slice of that bigger reality. It forces us to experience events one after another. And that sequential flow, well, that's what we call time. That's what we call life. So this leads to a pretty stunning conclusion, right? Mass is dimensional confinement. I mean, think about it. The only reason you perceive a universe with three dimensions of space and one of time is because your brain, everything you use to measure the world, it's all made of particles that have mass. To put it bluntly, mass is what traps us in spacetime. Okay, and this idea takes us straight to a really profound theorem from the source material. It's something that defines the physical requirements for what it even means to be an observer in the first place. So to put it simply, this principle lays out a physical fact. If you want to be an observer, if you want to remember something or measure an outcome, or even just experience a before and an after, you absolutely must have mass. A massless particle, since it experiences everything all at once, just can't. It's not equipped to observe. And look, this isn't some philosophical argument. It's a straight-up chain of physical requirements. The logic is actually pretty simple when you lay it out. Step 1, you can't have an observation without a sequence of events. Step 2, you can't have a sequence without time flowing. And step 3, according to the known laws of physics, you just can't have flowing time without mass. It's a chain, and every link is physical. Okay, I know this is all pretty abstract, kind of mind-bending stuff. So to make it feel a little more grounded, the source gives us a really powerful and, I think, elegant analogy. So in this analogy, we're the fish. As massive, localized observers, we're stuck swimming through our own little patch of the ocean. We only get to see our immediate four-dimensional environment, the world our brain basically builds for us from the light that happens to hit our eyes. But that vast, timeless, eight-dimensional ocean, that deeper, geometric reality, it's fundamentally beyond our direct perception. We're in it, but we can't see it for what it is. All right, this brings us to the final, and honestly, maybe the most startling implication of this whole idea. It's a connection between this physical principle and our very ability to understand the universe at all. The theory argues, and you might want to sit down for this, that the deepest truths of pure mathematics, like the zeros of the Riemann zeta function, actually dictate the physical laws that allow mass to exist in the first place. And, as we've just established, it's that mass that allows observers to exist. So you have this incredible, unbroken chain, leading from pure abstract math all the way to conscious observers like us. I mean, in a very real sense, the fundamental mathematical code of the universe gives rise to the very beings capable of decoding it. The only reason we can ask the question, why, is because having mass has trapped us in time, which gives us the sequence and the memory we need to even formulate a question in the first place. So that's the question to leave you with. If our reality, our perception, is just one possible way to exist, what is the universe like for an entity that experiences no time at all? What does this timeless, eight-dimensional reality actually look like from the perspective of light itself? What does a photon know? And with that final thought, we'll wrap up this explainer.